Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to this week's vlog. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how do you deal with not getting what you want, even though you've done your part, even though you've tried your absolute best. So for me, in this video, I was just coming out of a week of not praying because of my monthly, and this was me resetting. But a few weeks ago I had a maths exam in the beginning of January, and for me to pass that exam I needed to get 100%. I've never heard of such thing, but it does make sense because it's a multiple choice question and there were only 15 questions, and for you to pass the exam you had to get 15 out of 15. So what we do, I got ready, I started revising, I started praying about it, getting up in the morning to pray tahajjud, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please help me pass this exam, because I'm okay with everything else, but when it comes to maths, we don't go together at all. I cannot. Maths and me, we don't, yeah. So the day of the exam now, I sit down, do the exam, and I felt confident. I was like, I feel like I did well. I was just a thing of waiting to see what I got. 4 weeks later, the results come out. I opened them up, and lo and behold, I got 14 out of 15. And the thing that really got to me was the fact that, to pass, I needed a 15 and I got a 14. So once again, there was that thing of like dangling the pass in my face. This is honestly me being honest with you guys. This is how I felt. If I had gotten a 12, this is the monologue that was going on in my head. If I had gotten at least a 12, I would have known that, yeah, okay, I need to revise even more. Anyway, I'm telling you guys all this because I realized that I had this kind of distorted notion of tawakkul in Allah. I believed that, if I do my part, okay, if for example I revise, I try my absolute best, and then I get up and pray to Allah and I ask Him to help me with this, it's a guarantee. Like, it's 100% you will pass at that time. But after my results came back and I got what I got, it had me thinking, tawakkul in Allah is you believing regardless whether you get what you want or not. It's having full trust. Whether you get the thing that you want, whether you pass or fail, you still have to have tawakkul. You still have to believe that whatever happened, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did that for a reason. Maybe it wasn't my time. Maybe I actually needed to revise a bit more. Tawakkul doesn't mean pray or believe that you will get something that you want and that thing will actually come true. What I'm starting to see is that you have to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan. Even if you got up to pray tahajjud, even if you tried your absolute best, because at the end of the day, only we make plans and He makes other plans. And it's when we don't get the things that we want, that's where you're actually really and truly tested. Tawakkul is not saying I want this thing now, like I want to pass it now and I'm going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He will give it to me now. Tawakkul is doing your part, believing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it to you if it's what is good for you, but it will be in His own timing, when He knows that it's absolute best for you. And low-key, I had to check myself, check my heart, because who promised me that this would happen for me? It's almost as if I was thinking it's a supply and demand. Like, I have the recipe, I just have to do my part, ask Allah, and it's a guarantee. No, that's not how it works, and I'm just coming to realize that now. But I'm not saying not to have full trust and belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not what I'm saying. If you want something, if you're making dua for something, you 100% have to believe that your dua has been accepted. But you see, in the midst of believing that your dua will be accepted or has been accepted, you also have to be okay. You also have to believe that it will happen when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to. And maybe, sometimes that his timeline does not correlate with your timeline. But at the end of the day, whose timeline is better? Who has the best timing? Is it me or is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? But at the end of the day, I think what I'm trying to say is that regardless of whether you get what you wanted or not, regardless of whether your dua comes true or not, your tawakkul has to remain firm. We shouldn't let it, even though, at the end of the day, we are humans, things like this will happen, but it's not something that should waver, or it's not something that should be dependent on the things that you get. Like one day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers your dua, and then your tawakkul's, you have full belief. But then the next day, you ask him for something and he doesn't give it to you, and then you no longer have that hope. That if that's how we were to be, if that's how our relationship with him is, we need to look back and think something is not right here. Anyways, I want to tell you guys another story of something else that happened to me, which is also related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's timing. So you see that video of the prayer room that I showed you guys in the beginning of this vlog? That is here at my university where I stay. And the funny thing about that, how I discovered this, even though I have been here for 3 years, and I had no idea that they had a prayer room. This one day I was going to collect my parcel from the reception, and as I'm coming out, it was a Friday as well, as I'm coming out, there was a sister outside with her child, and they were handing out flyers. So she approached me and she said, "Assalamu alaikum," and I was like, "Wa alaikum salam." And she asked me, "Are you going to Jummah?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I don't know anywhere around here where I can go pray Jummah." And she was like, the key down there, like the building name is called the Key. This building, I honestly walk past it every single day. She said, in there's a prayer room where they do Jummah every Friday. And that blew my mind, because honestly, a few days ago, I was literally asking and speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about how I wish there was somewhere where I could go pray Jummah. And this lady and her son approached me to give me the flyers, but she also gave me this crucial information of something that's been playing on my mind. And the only thing I could say was alhamdulillah, honestly, Allah's timing. Like, his timing is the best timing. And now I know of somewhere where I can, leave my house, and the place is a 2-minute walk away from me. I thought it was just another university building where they did classes. It turns out it's a building that it's only for like every religion. You can go in there and pray. And I was like, wow. I'm saying all this to say, let go of this imaginary control that we think we have over our lives. We do our part. Do what you can. Try your absolute best with what you can, and then leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whatever the outcome, alhamdulillah, regardless.